welcome
to sort of the story.
This is actually sort of the story. If you thought you were somewhere else, you're not.
Also, whatever you're listening to this on, you can actually check that to see what it is that you're listening to, just in case you get confused in the future.
I know you turned this on and you thought, for sure, I'm listening to Shaq's podcast. Heart of Shaq. But you're not. You're listening to Sort of the Story. Hi, I'm Janey.
I'm Shaq.
And we brought him on here to inform you all about the classic signs of heart attacks in males between the ages of 1 and 99.
I'll also be telling the story of a genie named Kazam.
Kazam. Yeah, you're right. I was like, Shazam.
No, that's a different guy.
Now I can't remember which one is which. Isn't there a...
Kazam is Shaq.
No, it's not, isn't it? Isn't Kazam the one that they say is a Mandela effect?
No.
I know this is the stupidest thing ever, but I now I am...
Shazam is the one that has Zachary Levi in it.
You are completely right. It's also that one way to find out music.
Yes. Correct.
Kazam.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Wow, the poster... How big do you think the title of the movie is on that poster?
Regular sized?
How big do you think Shaq's name is?
Bigger, yeah.
Shaq's name takes up a good third of this poster, and Kazam is relatively tiny.
This is the film Shaq, starring Kazam.
And it's, quote, fun. That's the blurb. The blurb is in yellow, bigger than the title. Fun.
Anyways, this is the podcast where we tell each other stories.
And also, you are here.
Also, we should watch the classic film Kazam together.
Guys, what are you doing? You want to watch Kazam? Yeah, this is a podcast where we tell each other fairy tales and folk tales and mythology and all sorts of different stories that we want to tell. And you know what? It's up to us. And also...
It's up to us.
And also... You are here. Welcome. You are allowed to stay here if you are not a child, because this is not a podcast for children. That's important to tell you. We know that you're not listening to us, but if you're a child, don't be here.
Get on out of here.
Get on out. Shoo, shoo, shoo.
You little scamps.
If you turned on this podcast thinking, well, this seems like two wholesome girls talking about fairy tales to put my children to sleep, you're wrong.
We do swears. And there's crime.
We do swears and crime. And unless you want your baby to have to testify at our court hearing, get it out of here.
So hopefully this isn't the first episode you're tuning into. Hopefully it's also not the second episode you're tuning into, because if the first episode you tuned into was last week, or rather yesterday, then you're really confused.
You are so confused.
Episode 76 came out on April Fool's Day, 2023.
Which was not yesterday, Max.
I thought this episode was coming out on the 2nd.
No. April 1st is a Saturday.
Oh.
This episode's coming out the next Thursday.
Well, I don't know how time works.
Should I cut that? By the way, hi guys, I'm the one that does the cuts. Keith does not cut anything.
Yes, so the April 1st episode, 2023, is our April Fool's episode. And at last it is finished.
Okay, here's the thing.
Here's the
story. We have been waiting for episode 77 for literally almost, what is it? Half a year, right?
It's been 6 months, yeah.
It's been 6 whole months. That's exactly one half of a year.
Yeah, because we came up with this in the beginning of
September.
This has been a prank that we've been planning for a very long time. Hopefully by this point, everyone kind of figured out what the prank was. Last year, we retold the story of the acclaimed novel and film series, the first installment of that series, Twilight.
And then I did New Moon.
And then Janey did New Moon.
A bunch of people yelled at us because we coded it to be very cleverly hidden so you wouldn't realize it's Twilight. Except that Max did it extremely well, and I did not code it really at all. I named them Betty, John, and Edgar.
So that was our bit for last year. This year, we started off, we were recording an episode, and we were like, we should start thinking about what we're going to do for April Fools.
No, can I tell them?
Yes, please, go for it.
Can I please start this?
Yes.
Because you're acting, you act as if there's a firm, solid beginning. What actually happened was Max came up to me drunk.
I wasn't, is the weird thing.
I remember you holding a PBR, walking up and going, Janey, we should, okay, I think we should prank them. On April Fool. We should prank them into believing we have an audio engineer named Keith. And I remember being like, I trust Max wholeheartedly. She's beautiful and perfect, and she's never been wrong. Also, I love pranks and lying. So I was like, yes, let's do it. And so that episode, literally, we jumped from there, and then we jumped on and we started recording whatever episode that was, probably in the 40s.
Yeah.
Maybe earlier. And we were like, and thank you to our audio engineer, Keith. Woo, we have a new audio engineer. We recorded the episode. Then a week went by, or 2 weeks, and that episode released. And I was like, haha, we have an audio engineer. That's great. And then I looked at Max and I was like, so what's phase 2? Like, what's the prank part? And Max looked at me and said, for what? What do you mean? And I was like, for Keith. And you literally looked at me for a second and you're like, oh, well, oh. I guess Keith doesn't have an ending. I was like, damn it, it's not a prank if it's just a lie. So then we found ourselves holding on to the bit thinking we'll come up with a bit later. But then we were just gaslighting you guys into thinking that we had an audio engineer editing our episodes.
Which we don't, and we never have.
No,
it's always been
he's
Janey.
never been real.
So we ended up in a little bit of hot water that we had that I had created for us.
Because
I will take full blame
point,
for this.
It is now getting towards November, right? A couple months have passed, and now the lore of Keith has started to grow. And we were like, okay, we know for a fact, like maybe 1 or 2 people have noticed that we're thinking Keith still, that we're still doubling down on this thing. We have no idea what it is. But does anybody really care? And if this is going to be an April Fool's thing, how do we get there without just being like, April Fool's, Keith has never been real? I don't think they'll think that's funny.
And we spent weeks deliberating about this, and we were like, how do we make this funny? So we went to the master of comedy.
And horror.
And horror. One of the funniest people we know, our very lovely friend Eli. And we called him in a panic, and we were like, we fucked up. We started a prank and we don't know what the joke is. Please help us. And we explained Keith to him.
And he was so betrayed. We had texted him, by the way, we made up an entity named Keith. We're not really sure who Keith is, but now he's a full-on lie that we are stuck in. And Eli responded back with, guys, what the fuck? Keith isn't real. I was so proud of you. Which was when we realized Eli is an avid listener of the podcast. He hadn't told us.
Because he's America's sweetheart.
He's America's sweetheart, and he's very funny. But we betrayed. He felt betrayed, and he was like, I need a couple of days to think about this, and then didn't talk to us for a couple of days because he needed to get over the fact that we had gaslit him into thinking Keith was real.
So we all had a big phone conference where we were all home for Christmas, etc. And we were like, so what are we gonna? How do we make this funny? And we were like, maybe we can do something like we did last year, the Twilight thing. And then that launched into truly, I was thinking about it last night. Between the 3 of us, I think definitely more than 60 hours of work combined. Probably closer to 80 hours of work.
Yeah, for the whole entire thing, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, because
for this prank that hopefully you guys thought was fun
we really
and funny.
hope that you liked it and that you understood it. What if you didn't get it? If you didn't get it, keep it to yourself. No. Okay, so here's the thing. Max from the beginning said, I want Keith to be almost like a Lovecraftian otherworldly god, which is when I started putting shout-outs to Keith at the bottom of every episode description. So if you go back, you will find throughout the podcast, if you just scroll down to the bottom, which nobody ever did, and like 1 or 2 people did, and they were like, what the fuck is happening?
What's Keith?
But there are kind of some truly horrific little shout-outs to Keith, like in the episode description, which I thought that was just very fun. You had to scroll all the way to the bottom. So that was something that we started out with. And Eli, who's a master of horror, he's like our little sci-fi baby. He and he also is he's the person that got me to listen to the podcast Welcome to Night Vale, which is incredible. And I was obsessed with it for a couple years there. So when he came back and was like, okay, let me pitch you something then. What if you guys, he told us from the beginning, he says, it can't just be Keith isn't real. Keith has to say goodbye on his own. Otherwise,
we've got to give Keith closure.
Yeah, you need closure on Keith. It can't just be April Fool's, Keith is not real. Which,
again, that was my original idea.
Was.
And I understand why we can't do that. But also, I still think that would have been funny. I have a very weird sense of humor, and April Fool's, a person isn't real,
we
is
made
a
up
hilarious joke to me.
April Fool's, we gave a man credit for my labor.
That was the part that was the thing that really, I was like, no, we have to do something about this, is because Janey was still working and we were crediting Keith. We were like, thank you so much. It makes our lives so much easier to have an audio editor. And Janey was still doing her artwork and is an elementary school teacher in her first year. So she's dealing with all of that, which is massively stressful, and also doing everything for the podcast. And we were giving some man credit for Janey's work. And I was like, we got to do something about this because this doesn't fucking sit right.
Keith has made everything worth it for me. I became a weirdly obsessed with Keith. And then I realized, we realized, because when we were talking to Eli, we were like, Eli, what if you were just Keith? You're the only man we know. Also, can you just do it? What if you just did it? You'll do a bunch of work for us, right? Can you please? And he was really excited about that. And so then throughout a couple meetings we had where we were talking about what Keith is in this universe, how he interacts with the characters Janey and Max on the podcast.
Who also aren't real, by the way.
Yeah.
I feel like Janey and Max aren't real. They are fabrications in the same form as Keith is. My name is Lynette.
And mine is Sharon. No, but like, how is he interacting in this world? So then we thought about the fact that last year we did this Twilight prank, which we were still very proud of, that we pranked you guys into listening to Twilight, and how many of you were very mad at us and are still sometimes mad at us. We still sometimes get messages saying, excuse me, just listen to episode 23. Oh, what the fuck? Got to the very end, realized it was Twilight. Rude. And so we thought that was funny. And then we thought, how funny would it be if Keith also took you through a whole episode, and it's so bizarre because it's a random man who's talking, and then at the end you find out he just retold you all of Twilight, which, by the way, I hope you guys got that. He did an amazing job. Eli wrote that.
God.
Eli wrote that.
Every word. It was a huge effort of like talking about it and kind of collaborating on how we wanted to get it done.
Max is the one who had to take him through all of the Twilight books and movies.
I wrote a 20-page dossier on Twilight, which is something I never thought I would have to do as a professional.
Publish that. I feel like we should put it on the website or something to show the work that you did. I think that would be really funny.
God. And then Eli wrote like a full 30-page script for himself and sent it to me, and we like workshopped it, and we talked on the phone for like 3 hours about it and everything and figured out how we wanted to go. But he did a lot of research into like Sumerian mythology primarily to figure it out, which also I found out a bunch of stuff I didn't know about Sumerian mythology.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it, this is so cool.
But also that's what you get when you invite Eli into things, is he fully immerses himself into it. But also, again, he's our spooky little sci-fi baby friend who's like, he was a neuroscience
Adult
major.
Man.
You know, he's a little baby. He's a neuroscience major. Like, he's a super fucking cool, really funny person. He reads only like we talk about this all the time about how it's kind of unnerving to have him on our Goodreads, because I'm reading things like The Mediator and he's reading like The Last White Man on Earth. Like all of these really intense, beautiful, like science fiction books that, you know, written by people of color, or like, you know,
yeah, very like high-minded, like
yeah, he's constantly trying to expand his mind, and I'm like, but then we fully tricked him into writing like a 30-page Twilight fan fiction. And he even told us, he goes, you know what? I walked into this having judged 50 Shades of Grey, but now I get how it happened.
Yeah, I think that my favorite thing about this prank as a whole has been that through the process of this prank, each of us has been pranked in our own way.
Oh my God.
Where we've pranked the listeners with Keith. Janey, you pranked yourself into doing a bunch of work without credit.
Months and
I got
months.
pranked into doing huge amounts of work and actually having to care about Twilight. And I got pranked into, as a professional like writer and copy editor, having to write a dossier on the lore and events of the Twilight series.
And if you think that we went through this, like, this is the most fun we ever had. There were moments, I think, with all three of us where we were like, why the fuck am I doing this?
How did we get here?
Guys, I have a profession. I have 2 professions. I have a master's degree.
I was like, I have to talk to my extended family and tell them that there's not a wedding happening at the same time. And I was like, okay, Grandma, well, I have to get off the phone and do some work for my podcast. So that I just had to go look at the Spark Notes for Twilight.
Yep. No, listen, this has not been good for our mental health, any one of us. So we hope you appreciated it. Oh, part of the thing we also did, by the way, now we can finally talk about it, the static cut-ins that we've been doing. this is something that's going to be in the podcast forever. People are going to forever be able to go back, and hopefully they're not just picking a random episode that looks good and then there's just a random man's voice static cutting in. But that was a voice we had. That was a decision we made about Keith being this weird Lovecraftian otherworldly entity that he is literally breaking into the podcast every once in a while and trying to get a message across. And the message was just a riddle that leads you to Twilight.
Yeah, the idea was kind of that he is our audio engineer, but we wanted to kind of imply that he was almost like a parasitic force on the pod, where he was like, yes, I'm doing the audio editing, but also like secretly, as though we didn't know,
putting his own messages in there.
Yeah.
The hurdle we ran into with that was that somebody in the very beginning was like, this is, whatever this is, it could be very cool. However, it could also be very triggering to people who may deal with things like hearing, you know, voices or something. And then we were like, fuck, how do we do that without ruining the bit that we've already started months in advance?
Yeah, so I think we're going to go back now and sort of put a warning in the descriptions for all the episodes and say like, hey, just so you know, there's an audio break-in at this time. It's part of our April Fool's 2023 thing.
That'll be in the description, though. It won't be like an obvious thing.
But yeah, so that was kind of the process. So.
And also in the episode descriptions, I put in random capital letters since January to spell out the answer to the riddle. So the audio cut-ins are the riddle, which is a man was shot in the heart. Nobody tried to save him and he didn't die. What happened? And the answer to the riddle is he was already dead. And then you had to listen to the episode that was just all four of the Twilight story. All 4 of them, guys.
God.
Yeah, it's really good.
To me, the thing that Eli did, which... Again, like, we've known Eli for, 10 years now, right?
Yeah, it's been a decade.
And he has always been one of our smartest and funniest and, like, just generally most, like, just a very cool person that we know.
He has always been, just for the 2 of us specifically, because Eli has always been a fan of specifically you and I as friends.
Yeah.
Like, the way that we, and I feel like a lot of... like female identifying people tend to react towards like, oh my God, boys who are friends, you know, like it's like the media has really gone all out and being like, look at these 2 boys that are friends. Like look at Nick and Schmidt, you know, like they have this relationship, but that is a relationship marketed to women and female identifying people, you know, like that's not really marketed towards men. And I only say this because that's how Eli has always since day one reacted towards me and Max. Everything that we have done together, every time we were out together, every time Max and I accidentally said something at the same time, Eli was like, this is my favorite thing on earth. Thank you for inviting me. I love you guys. And like that is a weird thing, but like Eli's a part of our friendship in that he's weirdly our biggest fan.
Yes, he's the glue that holds us together.
He's
we would
the
have killed each
glue
other.
that holds us together.
He is the glue that holds us together. But we love Eli. He is just hilarious and massively talented and so smart.
Talk highly enough. I wanted to credit him well, but like Max, he does not like to be perceived, and so you get his name and that's it. You guys can go to hell.
But like even, you know, getting in on this, we were having all these meetings and everything, and I was like, I'm really worried that this, like, I don't want to expect too much from this, because I'm like, this is like a dumb joke. There's no reason why Eli would like try really hard for this.
And he tried so hard, and
then he sent me this script, and I was like, this is, first of all, a fantastic spoof of Twilight.
Yes.
Second of all, it's one of the most fucking metal things I've ever read in my entire life.
Yes.
Third of all, hilarious. Fourth of all, poignant. Fifth of all, I'm angry because it makes Twilight better.
Oh, we also haven't talked yet about how both of us, we were listening to the recording, and both of us had to listen to him very quickly mention Bella and Edward fucking, and then rush past it, and not all 3 of us, guys, that changed us all 3 as people. Like none of us wanted that.
Yeah,
none of us were comfortable. We're all fucking prudes. It's just 3 people who would rather not hear each other talk about people fucking in like unless it's like a ooh sexy. That's the only way that Max and I can do that, because we're deeply immature. And hearing again, our friend who was a neuroscience major, no, it made me uncomfortable. It was very upsetting to me. So that was the worst part of this for me. Oh, you also wrote all the cut-ins that we did.
Yes.
Max was the one who, when Max and I cut in, that was Max's idea, and she wrote all of those.
Eli also was part of the idea for that. But yeah, I found out that I have a tiny Janey and Max in my head who are just constantly running commentary, which is...
About accurate.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
I don't know what that says about me and my mental state, but...
Yeah. And then all of the static cut-ins and stuff like that, I became weirdly obsessive about, but I was so happy when it was done. I feel like 1,000 years older.
This is our... All three of us, this is our magnum opus.
You're not getting anything next April Fool's, so stop asking.
Yeah, you guys have to prank us next year. This was too much work.
You guys bring Twilight to us somehow, all right? Prank us by sending
Somebody
Stephanie
bite
Meyer.
me.
All right, well, you know
Kill
what?
me and take my blood.
If you want to continue this discussion about the April Fool's episode or Twilight or Eli, if you want to talk about any of it, join our Patreon so that you can join the Discord.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a smooth transition into talking about business?
Yeah. We do have a Patreon. I also hugely appreciate Eli has been a part of the Patreon for months and has just been...
Not on it. He has been...
lurking.
No, not the Patreon. You're talking about the Discord.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant.
I was going to say, because our Patreon just opened, so it'd be really weird if we were like, just kidding.
Eli's been Venmoing us $7 every month.
We've been not only making him write...
We've been making him pay for the privilege of doing a bunch of work for the stupidest, most ridiculous joke of all time.
Oh, God. And also the most on-brand prank for both of us. Like, what ghouls? So... yeah, but he has known about the Patreon, and he's also been lurking on the Discord, so he reads everything that you guys write about him.
Yeah.
Y'all are really freaked out by Keith.
And he's delighted by it.
And he mentioned it. You were really touched that he put that in all by himself. Like, they have a Patreon now, and join the Discord.
Yeah.
That was nice. Nice friend.
It's really nice because I'm still getting used to being at a point in my life where I have the security and also the self-confidence of like, oh, my friends can participate in and enjoy the things that I do, and I don't have to be weird about it.
Yeah.
They are just excited to see me succeed. And also, if they're not, then they're not actually my friends.
That does feel really weird.
So it's a weird thing to be like, oh, like, here's this incredibly dumb thing. And to Eli is someone who is just an absolute ray of sunshine and a delight to do literally anything with. But it's like, wow, it's really nice when your friends also care about the things that you do and are proud of you and are excited for the things that you're doing. So
yeah, that's cool as fuck. We wish that for every single one of you. So go join our Patreon.
Give us money. God, give us money so we can go fly to and hang out with Eli.
Wow, you've now told them what city he lives in. They're gonna find him.
Oh no, cut it.
These are worse than Swifties. They will not help the government, but they will find Eli.
Give us money so that we can fly out to see Eli in either Kansas City or Austin, Texas, or Portland, Maine. He lives in one of those places and we're gonna go see him.
Eli, you have to move. I'm gonna put a beep straight through his city.
Give us money so that we can go visit our friend Eli at 63 West 73rd.
63 West 73rd. I wonder what city that lies in.
63 West 73rd apartment 18A, where we're gonna go hang out with her friend. Sorry to the person who definitely...
social security number is 399. They're old. Okay, well, with all of that, Patreon, Instagram, Discord, talk to us, email us,
Talk to me, baby.
With all of that, Max, I think having a long intro is fine when it's something this fun. Do you want to just get started now?
Yes.
I guess saying just get started implies we don't want to do a whole intro. Do you want to finally get started now?
Yes, at last. At long last.
Woo! Okay, well, I'm going to tell you a story, my friend.
Really?
It's a couple stories, actually.
Okay.
Fucking buckle up.
Fuck and buckle up.
Fuck, but safely.
Fuckle and buckle.
Click it or dick it. Max.
If you see something, say something.
Don't be a bully. Be a buddy.
You wouldn't steal a plant.
That's true. And with that, my story begins. Okay, Max.
Janey.
Max, okay.
Janey.
P.S. I'm not over it. Found out that there's a lot of things that you and I we have bits that we do over and over again, bits that I didn't even notice we do. One of them that I did know that we do, but that Eli caught on to really well, like immediately, was, okay, Max, okay. And he just did that with himself. Okay, Keith, okay. That made me laugh. Him saying, we done did it, almost made me cry. I was like, oh my God, is that a Janey thing?
It is.
Janey has a thing.
Janey has a thing.
It's a Janey thing. He also, in his little script, I did see, because I didn't read the script, because I was going to be the one editing the audio. He had a thing where he was like, here's Janey's blood room. And I was like, yeah, blood room. And then he has one thing where city got flooded, and he goes, Max, I'm sorry. That's the closest I could get to an underwater castle. And I was like, oh, yeah. Max's thing is underwater castles.
Yeah.
Okay, so because this is the week after April Fool's, you had the idea to do trickster tales.
Yes.
And I think that's a great idea. So I brought you some trickster tales.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's for you.
Thanks.
Everyone else, stop listening. This is for Max.
We do this for each other.
This isn't for you. Our love is not for your gaze. Okay, so...
Unless you're Eli.
Unless you're Eli, you may listen. So I pulled these from my book, American Indian Trickster Tales, selected by... I was trying to do this from memory. I don't know why I have it on here somewhere.
You printed it. You made me go get it from the printer.
American Indian Trickster Tales, selected and edited by Richard Erdos and Alfonso Ortiz. So I picked specifically 3 stories about Raven. And these stories about
Raven.
That's So Raven is going to be the name of this episode. I've already decided. These are from the Haida Nation, which is a group of native peoples in Canada, in like a little archipelago off the coast of Canada, on the left side, I guess the west coast. But also there's some Haida people in like southeastern Alaska as well. This is about Raven. Sometimes this book specifically calls him Yehl, Y-E-H-L. I did some research. That's more the spelling for another group of people that are right next to them in Alaska. So I'm going to go into it at the end, but I call him Yehl a couple times in this. Cool. But Raven.
That's so Raven.
This book hates Raven.
Oh no.
So I'm going to tell you some short stories about Raven, all from the Haida people. This one is called Raven Steals the Moon. Are you ready?
Question.
Yes.
Does this story involve crime? Because if so, I'm not allowed to listen to it as part of the terms of my probation.
You know what? You'll be fine. Don't worry about that, and I'll pay your bail if not.
Oh, thanks.
Raven, do you get bail if you've broken your I bet you can.
No.
Okay, sexual favors it is. Okay, so this
For
story...
who? For me?
This story starts out, quote, Raven, the trickster, was a very lazy bird. So he sucked real bad. Every story, by the way, is going to start out with something like this. They hate Raven. Not the people, the writers of this book. Raven was living near a tribe that lived near the coast, and their main source of food was fish, right? That's every day they would go out and they'd fish. They would work really hard, and they'd feed their people, and it was like a big, booming, fishy economy. So Raven, however, never went hunting or fishing for himself. Oh, no. He would follow the people's boats around, and he'd scream, "Caw, caw, caw! Gimme! That's a direct quote. That's a quote. I wrote that down.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah. So don't worry. We're not going to do that again. He was always hungry, and he harassed them constantly, and he was really rude about it.
This is our cat Pepper.
Yep. The people were really kind, though, and so they would often give him some of their fish. But he was so rude, and he came back so often that soon they had to cut him off, because he's, like, eating half of the fish that they pull in, and they literally cannot afford to support him anymore. Grow up, Raven. And so they told him to go fish for himself if he was so hungry. They were done. And this really pissed off Raven. Raven was not having it. He threw a full-on tantrum. His eyes glowed red, and he screamed, "Caw! Caw! You stingy people! I'll get your fish all the same!"
Okay.
Yeah. I lied. That wasn't the last time I was going to do it. He began to straight up steal fish from them. He would take it out of their nets, or he would, like, rip it off their fish hooks, or he would just steal it right out of their boats. He would just, like, show up, put up his little Raven middle finger. He was rock and roll and rude.
Didn't care about the rules.
No.
Only cool till they cared about being cool. Oh, we take that one from the top.
Nope.
Didn't care about the rules. Only cared about being cool.
Max.
Also, this just sounds like more effort than just fishing.
No, he's having a great time. So the second they would turn away, he would swoop down and he'd steal their fish, and he was being a real asshole about it. And so they started to throw rocks at him. And they shot some of, like, they would shoot at him with their bows and arrows eventually. They're like, get away, you terrible bird. So one day, Raven screamed, "Caw! Caw! Caw! At the next full moon, I'll avenge myself. At the time of the next full moon, I'll get even with you." And then he flew away. These are direct quotes.
Is he going to turn into a wolf? That's a really good crow sound.
Thank you. Hire me for your birthday party. If you want a crow.
If you want a woman to scream like a crow at you or your child, you have our email.
You know how to get in touch with me. So the people were fucking terrified about this. They were like, that's so ominous. Wait, by the way, I forgot about this. So I'm sorry, I was talking about something with my 4th graders, and they were like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, it feels like something bad's gonna happen, but it hasn't happened yet. I forget what we were studying Van Gogh, right? And I was like, the word you're thinking of is ominous. That's the word for, like, you have the feeling something bad's gonna happen, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about, like, Jaws, like, dana, dana. I was like, all you see is people playing, but when you hear that music, ooh, it's ominous. And they were like, okay, yeah. So they learned a new word. And I wrote it on the board because they were like, how do you spell that? Like, they were really interested in it. And I left it up until I got to my 2nd grader, my 1st graders. My 1st graders, I forgot about the word ominous written on the bottom of the board. And on the top of the board, they were making 4-leaf clover things. And I had written, I feel lucky, because that was like their big St. Patrick's Day message, right? Because we couldn't keep writing Happy St. Patrick's Day because I never see them. So we're weeks late now. Mm-hmm. And I looked at all of their work when they left, and all of their work says, I feel lucky, ominous 2023. I'm like, that's weird.
How could that have happened?
I forgot about that, but it was truly hilarious. Guys, if I still have them in my thing, I'll find the ones that say it, and I'll put a picture of it on our Instagram because it's really funny. So they're terrified. Raven has some sort of magic. Obviously, he doesn't use it to fish for himself, but he was a talking bird, so he has to have something, right? Also, in the Haida mythology, like, Raven is the one who basically created the world. Like, he's really fucking powerful. And so they just constantly are talking about how uneasy they are. And eventually the chief of their village tells them, like, hey, Raven's just a stupid bird throwing a tantrum. You guys need to stop giving him this much power. Like, he's not that important. He's throwing a tantrum. Got it? And they're like, okay. But he was wrong. On the next full moon, they watched in horror as Raven flew in circles high above them. And he screamed, caw! Caw! Caw!
And then he turned into a wolf.
I'll teach you a lesson. She's saying wolf because I keep throwing my head back like I'm howling at the moon.
No, because he's a werewolf.
No, he's not. He's a raven.
No, he's a werewolf.
So he says, I'll teach you a lesson. And then he stole the moon. Yeah, dun dun dun. He plucked it right out of the sky like a grape.
And then he ate it?
And then he ate it like a grape. So they were left
He stomped it into moon juice.
This moon, and then thus moonshine was born. They were left in darkness for a while. They were like stunned in silence. And then all of a sudden they all start to just wail. They're like, what are we going to do without the moon? And so every night it's terrifying. It's pitch black. They have absolutely no way to see. And so 4 days later, after living in complete and terrifying darkness every night, Raven came back and said, caw, caw, caw.
Really sorry to anyone who's listening to this with headphones.
Will you feed me again if I put the moon back where she belongs? Wouldn't that be worth a lot of fish? And they're like, yeah, I guess that would be worth a lot of fish. I don't know what economy you're talking about, but yes, fish for moon? Yes. And so the chief is like, even I have to admit that I was wrong. Apparently he does have power. I'm sorry, guys. That was my bad. And so the people had to give him a bunch of fish forever, and then they all lived happily ever after he put the moon back. The end.
And then they all starved.
Raven steals the moon.
Raven steals the moon and slowly starves a group of people because of his fierce appetites.
So the next story I have, it's called Give It Back. Give It Back. Yale, Y-E-H-L, Yale, the Raven, quote, was a cheat, a thief, a selfish scrounger. They really don't like Raven. This writer fucking hates him. This guy sucked real bad. If he could steal something, he would, without hesitation. He was also an eavesdropper. He's also, in this one, a mixture of Raven and man. Like, he has, like, both features, just so you know.
I love it.
So one day, he overheard some men talking together. One of them was telling the others about a strange place that he had stumbled upon on accident, right? He had said that he had been out in his canoe when a gale swept him out farther than he had ever gone before. He said he was, quote, past the lonely spruce tree at the mouth of the river through like a thick patch of fog that was always there. Once he got past all of that, he found himself on a little island. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
According to the man, the island looked to be abandoned. He certainly didn't see anyone when he stepped out onto the shore, but there was a village with big houses and tall totem poles in front of each house. And one house that he went into looking for people, it was filled with every type of food you could possibly want. So this is the quote: smoked salmon, halibut, dried fish, jerky meat, cured deer, elk and moose meat, fish roe, seal blubber, like everything.
Mm.
Which, by the way, I looked it up because I was like, this is so many different types of meat. Is this something that was actually, that they would have had access to? Yes, all of it. They took down seals. And that's the scariest thing in the ocean. These people are amazing.
For you. An endless supply of masago is my dream.
Sushi, laid out, just on the platter, like endless. You can just have it if you want.
I could literally eat a bowl of masago like it was cereal. I just love that crunchy little thing.
Crunchy little thing!
Yeah. Same with lox. I could also,
Yes.
just between the two of those, I think I would never need to eat really anything else.
Honestly, yeah, the smoked salmon got me. The next house was filled with objects made from copper. And the house after that was filled with objects made with iron. And then another house was filled with beautiful carvings from walrus ivory. And the next house was full of furs. Quote, silver fox, beaver, soft deer skins, and warm blankets made from animal pelts. And as I was typing this up, I was really cold, and I kept thinking how nice it would be to be in that house. Like, I know which house I'd be in. It'd be that one.
I want to be in the fish house.
The strange thing, the fish house.
I want to be with the fish.
Make me one with the sea. The strange thing, though, the man told his companions, unaware that Raven is like full on spying on him. He's just like leaning out of a tree, like, tell me more. He said the strange thing was that nobody seemed to live there. All of these things were laid out, and they looked to be in great condition. It's not like there's any dust or anything, but there was not a single human being anywhere in sight. And he was like, this is so strange. It reminds me of Spirited Away.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So Raven was so excited he almost passed out, right? He was like so close. He was edging. So when he was hearing the story, instead of thinking, oh, weird, what the fuck happened to all those people? That's really ominous. I feel lucky. He instead thought to himself, I have to get there before anyone else steals all this stuff I want to steal. And so he ran home and he screamed at his wife to hurry, hurry, hurry. Ah!
And do what?
And he told her to help him get their canoe in the water. He's like, we need to go.
He can fly.
He needs the canoe. So the wife was baffled. She told him it was too late to go fishing. Why would he want the canoe? And he told her about the island full of treasure. And then he screamed at her to again, hurry, hurry, hurry. Ah! He's like, hurry the fuck up before someone else comes and steals everything before I can get a chance to steal everything, And the wife is like, no, I don't want to do that. That's stealing. And I know that that's stealing because you keep using that word, but no, I don't want to do that. That's wrong. And then he says, quote, how could I have married such a stupid woman? That stuff belongs to nobody. It belongs to whoever finds it. The people who lived there died long ago, or they moved away, or if they are still around, they don't deserve those wonderful things. They don't take proper care of them. And then he makes her get the canoe and then go with him, right? They paddle like crazy until they find the island through the fog, and just as the man had said, there was a village full of empty houses, totem poles standing tall in front of each one. So Raven goes up, he sees all of the houses, he runs from house to house, and he sees that this man had not exaggerated. Every house was filled with the best things Yale had ever seen. He was in heaven. I dropped my shoe. I really wanted to make a point. He was in heaven. He ordered his wife to start grabbing anything she saw, and they ran their loot back and forth between the houses and their canoe. It was like they were pulling a total Grinch, right? They stole the copper, the iron, the carvings, the roast beefs, everything that wasn't nailed down, they stole. They even stole the last can of Who Hash. And the whole time they were doing this, Yale the Raven was screaming at his wife, lazy woman, hurry, hurry, pack, pack, load, load, caw, caw. Now, usually, Raven would make his wife do all of the work, and then he wouldn't lift a finger, right? This was like a total Raven move.
That's so Raven.
That's so Raven. However, this time, he was running right alongside of her, trying to steal everything before anyone else could come along. And eventually, though, his wife has to, like, sit down. She's, like, exhausted. She's like, you're gonna fucking kill me with this. Like, I can't do any more work. And so she's like, I don't want to be doing this anyway. This is wrong. So no, I'm going to sit here. You can do the rest of the work yourself. And he cursed at her and told her, fine, just sit there. I don't care. He's going to get more stuff. And eventually he screamed, I am rich. Oh, how I will make my wealth. Caw, caw, caw. That's actually in the story, that caw. All the other caws I've done in this one weren't in there.
What? That's so many caws.
I love saying caw.
You're a rebel with cause.
I'm a rebel with all the cause. When he was finished stealing Christmas, he called to his wife, useless woman, get going, we are leaving. But his wife called back, husband, I can't get up. Invisible hands are holding me down. Invisible hands of invisible people, I can't move. And he laughed at her, much like you just did, which was rude. And he told her, like, to stop making up stories. Quote, you old, no good hag. He's really mean to his wife.
She should leave him.
She can't. Invisible hands are holding her down.
I was laughing because I was imagining, I was like, that sounds like something I would say if I was taking a nap and didn't want to get up.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
invisible hands of invisible people are holding me down.
I can't get up. I have to stay here in my bed and take a nap.
The invisible people are forcing me. He urged her to hurry on, but she cried out again that invisible hands were holding her down. She couldn't move at all. After not even like a moment, he tells her, fine, just sit here. I don't care. I'm leaving. I'm marrying all of this meat. Goodbye. That's my wife now. So he makes his way back to his canoe without her while she cries out for him from this empty house, right? He's like leaving her crying voice behind. But when he tried to push his canoe out into the water, it's like sagging with the weight of all of these like stolen goods. He keeps trying to push it and it won't budge. He's pushing and pushing and pushing, but it was as though the canoe was being pushed back by invisible hands. And then to his horror, he felt invisible hands grab a hold of his arms and his legs and his wings. They even started to like fist in his hair. They gripped him so hard, he was suffocating. And then he heard them speak. And they whispered, give it back. Give it all back.
Yeah, terrifying.
And he's like, no. Not doing it. He's like, these treasures are mine. I stole them fair and square. Meow, meow, meow. You can't have them back. And behind him, his wife is like screaming in terror. And all those hands are like squeezing him harder. And finally, as he's being like strangled like Bart Simpson, you know, by Homer. Finally, he's like, fine, you can have all these things back. Quote, you stingy people. And then the hands let him go. And so his wife comes running out of the house and she's like, we need to put everything back. Okay, they want it back. And so they spend all that night and most of the next day putting everything back where they had taken it from, which is the worst part of the story for me. It's like just having to put everything back. Oh, it's the worst. Then they shoved off in their canoe and they paddled away very slowly, for they were bone tired. He said, quote, I could weep thinking of all those wonderful things we had to give back. And she said, quote, and I could weep for having married such a greedy, foolish fellow like you. The end.
You piece of shit.
You piece of shit.
I'm serving you papers as soon as we get back home.
After I take a long nap, and invisible hands will be holding me down, so don't try to wake me up. Okay, so here's the note. This is from part 14, Raven Lights the World, of the book American Indian Trickster Tales, selected and edited by Richard Erdos and Alfonso Ortiz. All three of these, like I said, come from the Haida people. The members of the Haida Nation that's found in southeast Alaska are near another nation called the Tlingit Nation, and I found a lot of this info on a website that is dedicated to both of them. It's called Central Council, Tlingit and Haida Indian Tribes of Alaska. I've linked it in the show notes. It's pretty cool. But both nations, they have similar creation myths. They centered around Raven discovering mankind or creating the world. The Tlingit and Haida nations are matrilineal, which means that one's identity is tracked through the mother's clan. And both nations are organized into two major groups, I would say, Eagle and Raven. So Raven is really, and also the Haida, like, logo, I don't know what you would call it, is just two ravens. Like, Raven is central to the Haida people.
And they fucking hate.
Yeah, which is weird, right? But I was looking it up. I found something on ravenreads.org, which I linked. Raven is the most powerful of all the mythical creatures in the Haida culture. He's not a god, but he is like a mythical creature. It says, quote, his appetites include lust, curiosity, and an irrepressible desire to interfere and change things, and to play tricks on the world and its creatures. And he has many names. The most commonly one used in Haida is Wigit, or Shuya, which is his personal name. He's also called Nankilsla's voice handler, which, because ravens can mimic your voice, so that makes sense. Or Yal, Yaahl, which means raven.
All of y'all.
Y'all. I think that this is why I said this one in this book, it's non-native people writing, and so they say Yale, Yehl, but from all my research, that's the Tlingit version. That's the Tlingit name, and so I think they just kind of confused it, right?
Yeah.
It's not that, it doesn't seem that egregious, but that's why I'm like, Yeah. And also, non-native, even if you're from one of the, like, other 600 tribes in the U.S. or the many, many, nations in Canada, you would still make that mistake, probably, because you're not part of those specific tribes.
Yeah.
So why would you know their language? But hopefully you're doing the best you can. He isn't Janey. He isn't usually feared unless you wrong him in some way. Mostly he is a spiritual wanderer that, according to a Haida author, Eden Robinson, he, quote, teaches people protocol by breaking all the rules. He's the bad example, the example of what not to do. So his stories are always funny, and he's a very lively character.
He's the cat in the hat.
He's the cat in the hat. Yeah. P.S. Eden Robinson wrote a series of books called the Trickster Trilogy, and it's based off of Raven. The first one is called The Son of a Trickster, and it looks rad. It almost looks like a young adult book. Mm-hmm. It's about a kid in high school who is trying to find out, like, answer some mysteries of his life, like why he hasn't met his dad, or why he seems to have the ability to talk to ravens, or why his maternal grandmother fucking hates him, and it turns out he's the son of Wigit.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
That's really good.
Yeah, there's 3 in the series, and I want to read them so bad. So one final thing, and I'm sorry, I know I'm going so long. One final thing. So I mentioned this last time. I've used this book before when I talked about Coyote and Iktomi, right? Mm-hmm. So when I talked about that, I also mentioned, and I have to mention it here, one of the most disappointing things that I often find is that most of the native books that I have, or that I find, or even when I research, most of them are not written by native authors, right? They're mostly written by white people, specifically non-native white people. And that's a disappointment. It's not because I think non-natives shouldn't ever tell these stories, but it's because, some of them I think that they shouldn't, right? There's some that are closed, but for the most part, these are open stories. It's not that I don't think people should be able to tell them. It's just that, like, there are not, like, a lot of native authors out there who don't get the same opportunities and privileges that white authors get. And it just seems like a lot of white people get paid lots of money to tell these stories, and a lot of native people are specifically weirdly banned from talking about their own culture. Like, they share these stories with authors who then make a lot of money and don't always put money back into the tribe. So, like, it's always, it's shitty. I'm not, it's not an easy topic, but it is a shitty one that I talk about a lot. If you're new here, my dad's side is Sioux. That's why I'm interested in this whole topic. So that's a whole other discussion. However, this time I looked up Richard Erdos, right? He's the first one credited as, like, selected and edited by Richard Erdos. And I was like, let's look him up, because I was like, maybe I was wrong last time. Maybe he is native. Let's look it up. He's not, but he's fascinating. So he was studying at the Berlin Academy of Art when Hitler came to power in 1933. He's there in school. He joins an underground newspaper and starts publishing anti-Hitler political cartoons, which gain, like, kind of notoriety, and it makes the Nazis, like, focus on him. So he's forced to flee to Vienna, which is where he's from. So while he's in Vienna, he's continuing his studies for a little while, and he's illustrating children's books. He's working as a caricaturist for an anti-Nazi newspaper, and then, like, several more. And then he's forced to flee again because he's still fucking making anti-Nazi political cartoons and, like, distributing them secretly for people. So then he's forced to flee again. He eventually makes his way to New York City. He becomes a prolific illustrator who works with publications like the New York Times and Life and Time and National Geographic and all of dude. Like, he's fucking rad. And eventually, in 1967, an assignment for Life magazine brought him to the Pine Ridge Reservation. And I'll talk about why that's super important to me later. He becomes obsessed there with Native culture and stories, right? He's talking to all these people. He's hearing all of this stuff. And he's like, huh. So he starts to spend all his time with them. Eventually, that's the only thing he becomes known for, is specifically writing Native stories down, or like editing stories that are told to him and given to him. During the 1970s, he was also an active part of the American Indian movement, which is like a huge civil rights movement specifically centered around Native American people. His apartment was a common meeting place for some of the members, and he also became involved in the legal defense of several AIM members. And I can't confirm this, but Pine Ridge Reservation, I've never talked about this on the podcast, and one day I'll do an off-topic. It's just a monster topic that's too close to my family. But if you're Native, you have definitely heard the name Leonard Peltier. Leonard Peltier is my second cousin. He and Bob Robidoux were accused and had a huge court trial for shooting 2 FBI agents on the Pine Ridge Reservation in 1975. These 2 FBI agents ran onto the fucking reservation, and then nobody ever saw them alive again. And they have no video or audio or anything from what happened. All they know is that they were shot. And so this got pinned on Leonard Peltier and Bob Robidoux. And Bob Robidoux eventually was cleared of the charges, and they pinned it all on Leonard Peltier. And they ended up putting him in prison for the rest of his life. And he's still there now. And there's marches all over the place. Like, people are still actively petitioning to get him out of prison because you can't prove that he did it. Like, there's just no evidence to show that he did it. And even if he did not have a fair trial because the FBI was actively intimidating witnesses and having people drop out, and several people died because this was during the AIM movement and civil rights stuff was going on. So, like, there's just no way that you could have fairly brought anybody to justice in this thing. I have a lot of opinions about it. But that being said, this is a story I obviously grew up with because this is my family. And when I was thinking about fucking Richard Erdos, who was right there, like, defending people in the AIM movement on the Pine Ridge Reservation in 1975. The most important thing that ever happened at that time was Leonard Peltier's trial. So he 100% knew my second cousin. Like, 100%. There's just no way he didn't. Anyway, I got full chills. I was like, yo, oh my God, this is cool. Oh, and that's my long-winded trickster tale. Started with a hideout.
Really good.
Made his way back to Pine Ridge.
That's awesome.
P.S. My dad's tribe is not the Pine Ridge Reservation. It's Lake Traverse. But you know what? Leonard's allowed to go anywhere he wants. I mean, not anymore. Okay. With that.
That was good.
Cool. Do you want to take a break? You look exhausted.
I'm real sleepy. Invisible hands are holding my eyes shut.
Invisible hands are holding her eyes shut. Okay, well then we're going to take a quick break and then we will come back.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Okay, Janey.
Okay, Max.
Janey, the story that I have for you today is called Crack and Crook. This is from Favorite Folktales from Around the World, from the Pantheon Fairy Tale and Folklore Library, edited by Jane Yolen. Mm-hmm. This story is originally from the collection Italian Folktales by Italo Calvino, which was published in 1956. This is an Italian variant of a relatively well-known tale type that I will talk about a little bit later.
Okay. Can I guess as we go?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you want to guess now?
Crack and Crook. Drug dealers. You know what? No. Tell the story first.
Okay.
I need more info.
Okay, so one thing before I get into this, I'm going to give a content warning at the top that there is a mention of spousal abuse in this, which I'm going to amp way down.
Should I have given a content warning for spousal abuse?
No. It's very overt and like necessary to the tale. And so a lot of times if that happens, I'll skip over it in the story.
Yeah.
But just so you know, if you look up the text of this, it's fucked up. I'll warn you again before it happens, but cool. It's really out of place in the story, but I couldn't think of a way to leave it out.
Yeah.
So anyways, just so you're aware, but the rest of the story is a goddamn romp and I'm so excited.
Okay.
So once there was a famous thief, and his name was Crack.
Okay. Cute.
He was one of the best thieves that there ever was. One of two, actually.
Oh, okay.
there was another thief operating in the same area around the same time.
Crook?
It is.
Okay.
The other thief's name is Crook.
Do they have an enemies to lover arc? You know what? I'll let you do this.
Thank you. They are both thieves of much renown, working in the same area in the same time and everything. And at a certain point, Crack, he's notorious for being one of the best thieves that there ever was. And so there's not a whole lot of thrill in the game for him anymore. But he's like, the one thing I really want to do before I get out is I really want to meet Crook, right?
Aww.
And he's like, I would love to run a job with him because, I've seen all of his... This is very much like an Ocean's 11 kind of thing.
Yeah, they have like heists.
Yeah, spy versus spy situation, but not versus. So he's like, I would love to work together with Crook someday. So one day Crack is out to lunch at a restaurant, and he's seated at one of those long tables that's kind of communal, right? And it's a late lunch, so it's a little bit empty in the restaurant. He's eating his lunch, and he looks down and he realizes that his watch is missing.
Oh.
And there's only one other person in the restaurant sitting down at the other end of the table. And he's like, well, the person who stole my watch, to be good enough that they could steal it without me noticing, it has to be Crook.
Yeah.
Right? So he looks over, he sees this man sitting at the other end of the table, and he's like, all right, so I know who that is. So he very, very sneakily goes and he steals the purse of this man sitting down the table from him.
Yeah.
And then when...
He's holding like a little coach bag.
Yeah.
It's a fall 2016. Really nice.
He's got, what is it? Vera Bradley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got one of those little rolly suitcases.
So he goes and he steals this man's purse that has all of his money in it, right? And so the man finishes his lunch and he goes to pay for his lunch, and his purse is gone. So he turns to Crack and he says, so you must be Crack.
Yeah!
And Crack says, and you must be Crook.
Yay!
And then Crook says, right, yes. And then Crack says, fine, we will work together.
Woo!
And then they team up.
That's it. That's all they needed.
They're like, oh, I know who you are. You know who I am. We're best friends immediately. Let's do crime.
One last job.
Definitely not one last job. They are master thieves.
Best friends.
Best friends. Immediate best friends.
Love it.
So Crack and Crook decide, here's the heist.
Crack and Crook would be such cute names for cats.
Aw.
Like two cats that you adopt together named Crack and Crook.
That would be so cute.
Little criminals.
Or little finches.
Little mice.
Oh.
Tiny little British mice named Crack and Crook.
And they thieve.
And they're thieves. They steal little bits of cheese.
Oh, Crack and Crook and the cheese.
One of them steals a blackberry.
Oh.
Okay. Guys, somebody write it so we can tell it.
Crack and Crook. So they decide, here's the heist. They're going to break into the king's treasury, which is, where the king keeps all of his money. The thing is, it's super well guarded. There are guards everywhere, on the outside of the building, the inside of the building.
Yeah.
It is constantly manned. They have security cameras and like the lasers and everything, and no one's ever been able to get into
this medieval king's treasury.
No one's ever been able to even get past the front door of this treasury, right? So Crack and Crook are like, well, that's what we've got to do. We're going to hit the treasury. So they don't try to go in through the front door. Janey, what do you think they do?
I think they tunnel in from under the floor because they're mice.
You're right. They're not mice. They're not mice.
I knew it.
But they tunnel under the foundations. They come up inside of the treasury, and then they take everything in the treasury and disappear.
I could be a crook.
Yeah, you just
Or
have to tunnel. You just have to have a little shovel. That's the secret of thieving.
Yeah.
Is that you can dig into places, and also if anyone catches you,
bonk them on the head.
Bonk them on the head.
And then you can dig their grave.
Yeah. Really, a shovel is the most useful tool for a thief. I'm realizing that I'm right about that.
It's one of those things they also teach people that, like, you don't want a weapon that lets people get close to you. You want it to be kind of a long-handled thing, which is why you're less likely to be attacked when you're walking alone if you're holding an umbrella. Hold a shovel instead of an umbrella.
I'm going to start walking around with a shovel.
Shovels can also be umbrellas.
Shovel umbrella.
They're walking, you hear this ding, 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 ding. That's the rain hitting your shovel on top of your head.
Oh, is it on top? Okay.
Yeah, you're wearing it on top of your head like a baseball cap. Hold it around the back. Now you're wearing a backwards baseball shovel. Also, you can play baseball with it. Endless.
I've lost the thread. So they go in, they steal everything in the king's treasury, and they disappear with their ill-gotten goods. The next morning, right, the treasury guards are like, my king, we don't know what happened. Like, we swear, no one came in. And then they go into the treasury room and they're like, a hole in the floor. They dug their way in. Like,
in one night.
Yeah, there are police being like, did you see anyone suspicious with a shovel lurking around the castle?
It has become all the rage to carry shovels instead of purses, my lord.
So the king is looking around at his emptied out treasury and he's like, well, who could have done this? And there's a cop who's like nearby sort of writing on his notepad, and he offhandedly says, well, you know, the only way to catch Crook is with another crook. And the king is like, that's a great idea. Ah! So he runs to the jail.
Okay.
And inside the jail is another thief. Not
named
quite as...
Creek.
No.
Aww.
Not quite as renowned as Crack and Crook. His name is Snare. And he was caught thieving, which is why he's in jail.
Not great then.
Yeah, no. So he's not as good as them. And the king says to Snare, if you can...
I need you to be a honeypot. You're going to go in and seduce Crack. Right?
Well, they don't know that it's Crack and Crook either.
He's going to go in and you're seduce one of them. Turn them against each other.
No, they don't know who committed this theft. Nobody knows.
But they do know they could be
it's the heist of the century.
By Snare. Sexy, sexy Snare.
So the king goes to Snare and he's like, if you can help me figure out who did this, then I will give you your freedom and I will make you a marquis.
Oh.
So Snare is like, sounds pretty good to me, but I can already tell you who did it. It was either Crack or Crook. The two...
Snare, hold out with that information until you're outside of the castle. Write that information in a letter.
He's like, it was either Crack or Crook, or possibly both. They're the only people who could have pulled this off. So that's who you're looking for. But if you'll pay me a bunch of extra money, I can not only tell you who they are, but also I can help you catch them.
But I can tell you what they are. They're mice.
He says, I'll help you catch them. And so the king is like, you've got a deal. And they let him out. And Snare is like, all right. So here's how we're going to catch him, right?
That was a good mouse impression.
Thank you. Snare is a rat, right?
Oh, yeah, he is. Or a snake.
So Snare goes to the king and he says, my king, this is how we'll catch them, right? I want you to go to all of the places in the kingdom that sell meat. And you're going to increase the price of meat to $100 a pound.
Wow, really fucking over the
everyone.
People here, huh?
Yeah, he's like, you're going to raise the price of meat everywhere in the kingdom to $100 a pound. And then the only person who will be able to afford to buy the meat will be the person who stole your treasury and therefore will be the thief themselves.
And then everyone else will be dead. So you will only have to kill one person. Eat the rich.
Eat the rich. Eat the rich.
Yeah, eat the rich. And eat the rich too.
And eat the rich to you as well.
We got stuck in a loop.
And also with you. So he's like, raise the price of meat, cause insane inflation on just meat, and then the thief will be the person who actually still buys meat. So the king raises the price of meat. Everyone is like, I guess we're all vegetarians now.
Yeah, right?
And, you know, time passes and nobody's buying meat because it's so expensive. But eventually word gets to the king that a friar has gone to a butcher in a town away from the king's castle and purchased meat. And so Snare is like, that has to be...
How are they still selling meat? Doesn't that go bad? At this point, they had to have turned it all into jerky because it's just spoiling. Stop killing your cows. Oh, this is a great time to be a cow.
You're going on a journey right now.
Yeah.
So Snare says, well, that's your thief. Whoever it is, it has to be either Crack or Crook in disguise as a friar who went and bought the meat. So he's like, here's how we're going to figure out. Here's how we're going to find them, right?
Yeah.
So Snare is like, I'm going to dress up as a beggar, and I'm going to go to every door in the town where this butcher is, right? And I'm going to go to all the doors and I'm going to knock on them and I'm going to ask them to give me meat. And then whoever does, I will put a red mark on their door, and you'll know that that door is the one which contains the thief, and you can send your guards in to summarily execute them, I assume, my liege.
I wouldn't share my meat if I had to pay.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, that guy's not going to share. He's a crook. Why would he share with you?
Also,
everybody wants meat.
Also, nobody has any meat, and why... if your thing is like, oh, I'm starving, give me some meat. It's like, no, you can't have meat. Nobody can have meat.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. You don't get it. You don't get it.
Yeah. But regardless of the fact that doesn't make any fucking sense, Snare goes up to the town and he knocks on all the doors until finally he knocks on a door and he sees a person in disguise and asks for meat. And the person is like, yes, I'll give you a little piece of meat. And gives him a little piece of meat. So he's like, oh, thank you very much. And then he closes the door and he puts a red mark on it. And he goes off and he tells the king's guard, the house with the red mark on it is the one which contains your thief.
And they have to walk through the whole town.
It's like a little treasure hunt.
Door. That one has a wreath on it. The wreath has red flowers.
Do you think that's the sign?
That's probably not it.
So, meanwhile, though, Crack, who is the person who was in disguise in this house, Crack saw the red mark on his door, and he was like, okay, well, obviously, I've been made.
Yeah, I've been marked.
Yeah, and he like tries to scrub the mark off of his door, and he can't get the mark out. So what he does is he takes a red Sharpie, I assume, and he marks every door in the village.
He puts on some red lipstick. And he kisses every goddamn door in the village.
So he takes a red marker and he marks all of the doors in the village. So they don't know which door is the one that was originally marked. So the king's guards go to all the doors and they're like, we don't know who it is. And thus Crack escapes once more. So the king goes back to Snare and is like, Snare, that didn't work. And also that was really complicated and everyone's starving now.
And he's like, but I got some meat.
I got a little bit of, I got a little morsel. So
I got me a chicken nugget.
One chicken nugget.
Chicken nugget for the poor.
Could I just have a single cheeseburger, my lord?
Please, but one chicken finger.
Give me
the fingy.
So the king's like, Snare, that didn't work. What are we gonna do to catch them? And so Snare's like, all right, well, they're thieves. Eventually they will spend all of this money that they stole from you, and then they're gonna come back and they're gonna try to steal from your treasury again, right? Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. At the bottom of the stairs that go into the treasury, you're going to put a vat of boiling pitch. And then when they walk down the stairs, they'll fall into the pitch and die.
But they're not walking downstairs. They're digging from the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Snare's an idiot.
Snare's not the smartest.
Also, if they're selling... I'm so sorry. If they're, like, trading all this stuff and they're blowing all their money, that means other people have things that make them a lot of money. Which means...
they're bolstering the local economy.
Yeah, and so everyone's going to start buying meat.
Yeah. Okay. Right. No, this doesn't make sense.
Okay, Snare's an idiot.
So Snare is like, put a vat of boiling pitch at the bottom of the stairs, and then when they go down the stairs to steal from your treasury, they'll fall in the vat, and they'll get stuck in there, and they'll die. Yeah. And then you'll be able to pull their body out and tell who it was that stole from you.
Okay.
Good plan, yes. And the king is like, sure, kind of feels like that could have been
the first Snare.
thing.
Can I ask you, we had a TV in your room, and I know that I forgot to change the tape that was playing. Were you just watching Home Alone over and over and again? It wasn't just Home Alone, right? We had more enrichment in your enclosure.
Reader, it was just Home Alone.
I just did the Home Alone face.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was really good.
But you wish you had been here.
It was like you were possessed by the spirit of Macaulay Culkin.
I am, but that's a different story.
So the king is like, great idea. He puts a vat of boiling pitch at the bottom of the stairs into the treasury.
Yeah.
And, as Snare said, Crack and Crook have run out of money. So they go to sneak into the treasury, and you never go in the same way twice, I assume is the idea.
I guess.
They don't say that, but that's the only reason I can think of why you wouldn't just dig in again.
They put a bunch of grenades in the floor this time.
They just rolled a bunch of, shit into the tunnel, and they're like, aha!
Now they're not going to want to come in through this way.
So Crack and Crook sneak into the treasury through the front door this time. They don't explain how that happens, but they go in through the front door and walk down the stairs, and Crook, who is walking first, falls into the vat of pitch.
No!
Yes. Crook falls into the vat of pitch and dies.
Oh.
And Crack cries Obviously, that's his best friend,
Oh,
and it's
no.
heartbreaking, and I got really upset at this point in the story. I was like, they're best friends, how can you do that?
Is this the spousal abuse you were talking about?
But Crack is like, okay, Crook is dead. Crook is in this vat of boiling pitch and is dead.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do, right? Because if they figure out that if I still steal it, they'll know that there's another person. And if they know that this person is Crook, then they'll know that the other person has to be me, Crack.
So he takes out his shovel that he always carries with him, and he fishes his body out with the shovel.
Close.
Oh.
He cuts off Crook's head so that he can't be identified.
With the shovel.
Maybe.
Isn't it weirdly more upsetting to think of decapitating somebody with a shovel?
I think not. I think any other way is more upsetting when it's your friend and they're covered in pitch and they're dead.
But it'd be fine with the shovel.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
how you kill a snake.
One bite at a time.
No, that's how a snake
I know
kills
this
you.
one. I know this one. I will not be tricked.
So Crack is like, all right, he cuts off Crook's head and he makes away with the treasure. And the next morning the king's like, wow, someone fell in our pitch trap. Better check and see who it is. And they pull out the body and it doesn't have a head. So they're like, well, we can't tell who this is.
Mm-hmm.
So we still don't know who the thief is. And also I'm out another GDP or whatever.
I'm out one more GDP.
My treasury, which I just recently started replenishing, is once again empty. And
I really took a hit in my Dow Jones. Bear market.
So the king is like, Snare, we have one body and we don't know who it is. And there's obviously a second thief who has escaped with my treasury once again. So like, your plans aren't working and they're really bad.
Don't you have like a captain of a guard or something? Didn't somebody have to pass a
No, it's
detective's exam?
hijinks. It's hijinks, Janey.
Snare's like, he may have taken his head, but he left one crucial piece of evidence. And he looks at his penis and he's like, Crook.
So the king is like, well, we have this body. We have no way of finding out who the other person is, right?
Yeah.
So Snare says, I know. What you're going to do is you're going to tie this headless body covered in pitch to the back of a wagon.
Okay.
And you're going to drag it through the town.
Yes.
And then you'll listen. And whatever house someone is crying in, you'll know that that's the person who was working with this corpse.
I cry in this house constantly. Good luck finding my corpse husband.
So they drag Crook's body through the streets.
Jesus Christ.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
This is also the part where spousal abuse becomes a thing.
Okay.
They drag it past Crook's wife's house.
Yeah.
He had a wife, apparently.
Sure. He was cheating on her with Crack, so.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Crack, he's a canny fellow. And so
no.
he's like, listen, they're going to try and figure out who this is, and I got to make sure that Crook's wife doesn't spoil this for me, right?
Oh, no.
So they're dragging this body around, and Crook's wife sees him and starts crying, and she's like, my husband, he's dead, no. And Crack, who was already at her house, for some reason.
Because he was there, waiting for this moment. How did she tell that it was Crook?
From the penis.
From the penis.
Right.
He left one crucial piece of evidence.
So she starts crying, and Crack is like, she's going to give us away. They're going to know who it is, and then they're going to catch me and find me, and etc.
Yeah.
So he starts throwing plates around and breaking them.
Oh.
And then he yells at her and is like, you broke all the plates, you stupid woman!
And she's like, how did you get in my house?
And then the police are like, aha, we heard crying coming from inside of this house. And they see this man just screaming at presumably his wife and a bunch of broken plates. And they're like, he's yelling at her for being bad.
Oh, good.
We see. That's why she's crying.
And
because
we support
women are
her.
emotional.
A cab.
Yeah, that is worse than the original story.
I appreciate what you did. Thank you.
Thank you. It's really jarring. So, once again, Crack is able to get away with it.
Yeah.
Now, the king is like, I'm not listening to Snare anymore.
No.
So he decides to come up with a little hijink of his own.
Mm-hmm.
He puts out word, he puts up posters and flyers everywhere, and he says, if the thief who has now twice stolen from my treasury can steal from me the bedclothes off of my bed while I'm in it, they will be pardoned.
If the thief can find their little way into my bed, well, I'm also in my bed.
And maybe we can work something out.
Maybe we can work out a deal.
So he says, if you can steal my bedclothes out from under me, then you will be pardoned for all of your crimes.
If you can take off my pajamas, Unabomber, then you can have a key to the city. That's how they caught him. That's how we know who Ted Kaczynski is. She's waiting for me to tell her that that's a joke. Google it.
That's not real.
Google it.
No, what happened was they put out a cardboard box with a stick propping it up, and they had a little cloche of food inside it that smelled really good, and it said, special treats for the Unabomber. Others need not apply. And then the Unabomber went in the box to get the treats, and then the box fell down on him, and they were like, aha, we got him. Ted Kaczynski.
There he is. Old Ted.
So...
Google it.
So the king is like, I will pardon you if you can take the bedclothes out from under me. And Crack sees this and he's like, great, this is my chance to not be on the run for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I'm taking it. So the king goes to bed that night with a gun.
With a shovel.
He's like, when this motherfucker comes in to steal my sheets, I'm gonna shoot him. How's that for hijinks, asshole?
This does, okay, I know I keep interrupting. This does remind me of in in Fast 7, the one with Jason Statham, when Shaw shows up, right? Deckard Shaw, played by Jason Statham. He's very hot in it. When he shows up, Vin Diesel is like, they decide to play chicken with their cars, but obviously neither of them is going to go, veer off. So they just like ram their cars into each other because men. And Deckard Shaw's car is reinforced with steel, and so it fucks up Vin Diesel's car. Vin Diesel, like, rolls out of his car, spitting out teeth and blood and, like, putting his ribs back in.
And carburetors.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, you cheated. What kind of man puts steel in his car? And blah, blah, blah. And he starts, like, kind of making fun of him for, like, not playing by street rules. And, like, Deckard Shaw comes out in a full suit, and he's like, hi, I'm a professional. Like, he straight up is like, why don't you have steel in your... You realized you're going up against the world's greatest assassin. You think that I'm gonna play by your weird street rules? That makes no sense. And there was a moment in that movie where I was like, oh no, are these movies stupid? I had a crisis.
And they are, but that's good. So,
like, at one point he brings out a gun and Vin Diesel's like holding up a wrench and he's like, whoa. I'm like, oh no.
How's that for hijinks, asshole?
But that's it.
Yeah.
That's the fucking king.
Yeah, 100%. So the king goes to bed with his gun. He's like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. Meanwhile, Crack is preparing for the greatest heist of all time, in memoriam of Crook. And so he goes to the graveyard.
Oh, no.
And he bribes the gravedigger to give him a body.
Oh.
And then he rigs up like one of those, what are they called? Like where you like rappel down a building?
Yeah.
Yeah. He rigs up a rappelling line outside of the king's
repellent.
And he puts the corpse in the
harness.
I'm doing a lot of gestures.
Like what they do with Peter Pan in stage productions.
What? Oh, I was so confused.
Peter Pan is just...
I was like, you know how they waver on the corpse of Peter Pan?
Grow up, Mac. You've never seen a high school production of Peter Pan?
No.
Oh, it's horrific.
So he rigs up the corpse in this, like, rappel line, and he makes it look like the corpse. He also dresses him like a burglar.
Sure.
I have to say that. He dresses the corpse like a burglar, and he makes it look like this burglar, who is a corpse, is climbing up towards the king's window, right? Yeah. So the corpse, he pulls it so that it's up in front of the king's window, and the king is like, aha! And he jumps out of bed, and he takes the gun, and he shoots the corpse, and it hits the line that's holding the corpse up. Yeah. Right? He's like, so now he's gonna fall and die to his death.
Yeah.
And he hears the body thump on the ground outside, and he's like, I finally got him! So he has his little, like, nightshirt and slippers and little sleep cap on and a gun, and he runs downstairs to go make sure that the thief is at last dead.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Crack
sneaks into the king's bedroom.
steals his pajamas.
Steals all of his pajamas and bedclothes. And escapes before the king has time to return.
Ah, so good.
And he presents the king with his bed sheets and he says, "Here you are. So I'm pardoned now, right?" And the king at this point is like, he's looking at a corpse that is just outside of his house and he's in his pajamas with a gun. And he's like, yeah, okay, you're pardoned. I can't do this anymore. I'm so tired.
I quit.
He's like, yeah, you're pardoned of all your crimes. Also, I'm going to let you marry my daughter.
What?
So that you have enough money that you never have to steal again because I'm so tired of dealing with this.
Keep your enemies close.
And your enemies married to your daughter.
Hello. Fuck my daughter. Goodbye.
I love the idea of marrying your daughter off to someone just so that they will stop making trouble. It's like, listen,
stop doing crimes.
Please, you will be the heir to the throne. You will never have to worry about money ever again.
That's actually
so you will
funny.
have no excuse.
That's actually
steal,
funny
please.
that you should say that, Max, because I don't know if you saw, but I have offered to let the Zodiac Killer marry you if you would just let us know. Who are you? Come marry Max. Anyway, that's it. If you're the Zodiac Killer, you get to marry Max. Or you could steal my pajamas. I don't know. One of them.
I really like this story for a lot of reasons. I really like the buddy cop aspect, the like gentleman thief aspect. Really like all of that. Really like all the hijinks. But perhaps my favorite thing about this story is that the punchline is that all politicians are crooks.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
That's how they get there, is from thieving.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, so that's the story of Crack and Crook.
The story of Crack and Crook.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. Guys, if you adopt 2 tiny furry creatures and you name them Crack and Crook, please put it in our pets channel on the Discord so we can see them.
Yes. Did you want to guess what tail type this is?
Oh. Emperor's New Clothes. No. Princess and the Pea. No.
None of those things happened, Janey.
Okay, but I'm imagining both of them because of him stealing his pajamas and also him being in a bed full of mattresses.
What?
Oh, was that? Wait, hold on. Did I make that part up?
A bed full of mattresses?
Yeah, like I guess that's never actually said in the story. Never mind.
No.
I was just thinking of him on a bunch of mattresses with a bunch of bedclothes on there. Hold on. It's the tail type of 2 best friends committing crimes.
You're close. It's the same tail type as the Master Thief, which we told on a previous episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
This is specifically the Italian variant, which is completely unlike every other variant.
Yeah.
But it is very specifically the Italian variant from the Piedmont region of the Master Thief story.
How many thief stories do you think you've told on this podcast? 6. I now associate thieves and heists with you.
So this is Arns Thompson Uther type 1525, the Master Thief. They also, in the notes for this book, they mentioned that the red marks on the door are an iteration of...
Bible?
No, from Hans Christian Andersen's The Tinderbox. Apparently that's something that also happens in it.
I was going to say, because that reminded me of the Old Testament, like, put lamb's blood on the door, and I will pass over them, but I'm taking the firstborn child of every other family in Egypt.
Sure.
So when God killed all of those babies, but like spared anyone who had blood on their doors. You know this story. This is Moses. I've
heard this story, but I don't know the details.
This is Moses. Moses was like, everyone's a slave, and how do we stop this? And God was like, oh, I'll kill all their babies. Okay, I'll just take the firstborn of everyone. Just go ahead and put a quick blood on the door if you are not Egyptian. Cool.
Fuck.
Yeah. But that's what that is. It's marking with the red mark. Like, it's a straight up Bible story.
Well, in Hans Christian Andersen's
Old Testament.
The Tinderbox, it's specifically like someone puts a red mark on someone's door to be like, this is where they are. And then they're like, they mark all the other doors red to be like, haha, now you can't find me.
And then he kissed all those other doors.
I do really like the idea that the mark is a big ol' smooch. And so Crack is just there, like, just furiously slathering on lipstick and kissing everyone's doors.
Oh my god, the next day you see him and his lips are so full of splinters. Got that pouty model lip thing going on.
With the splinters?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how models do it. Cool. Well, Max, excellent job.
Thank you. Excellent job to you as well.
Oh, and also to you.
And also with your spirit.
And also with your spirit. You guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you enjoyed last week's episode. And we hope that you join our Patreon. So at the $3 level, at least, so you can get access to the Discord, so you can come on and talk to us about whether or not you enjoyed it.
Do you like us?
Do you like us? Do you think we're cool? Or did you think that was weird? I want to know. Here's what I want to know. And you can email us or you can put us on our Instagram. It doesn't have to be at the Discord. But I would like to know, did you notice that the static was saying a full sentence? Did you notice that? And when did you notice that? This is an exit survey.
Yes. Also, when did you figure out that the story was Twilight? I would love to know that.
When did you figure that out? Like, at what point? Was it when he said that she crawled on his back and she held on like a monkey holds on to its mother? Eli! That was, Max gave him like a list of basically, like, we had a phone conversation. We gave him a list of like non-negotiables, things that had to get added into the story. And Hold On Tight, Spider Monkey was one of them. Oh, it's so good. But, yeah, we want to know all of those details. Were you freaked out by it? Or did you understand that Keith wasn't real? Like, let us know.
Just let us know.
Yeah.
Do you still like us, even though we did a prank?
Oh my god, what if we wake up and we have lost all of our supporters after April 1st?
That's showbiz, baby.
All right. Everyone, we hope you have a wonderful week and that you have a week full of tricks.
And treats.
And treats.
And cricks and cracks.
I hope that you guys trick or treat this week. I think we should be allowed to just mass trick or treat whenever we want. Knock on your neighbor's door. Demand anything. Extortion. Yeah, but with fancy costumes. Okay, guys, have a great week. Goodbye. Bye. It's so clear.
Crystal
I can
clear.
see my future.
How is it?
Oh, how do I go back is what I want to know.
You can't.
Time to go backwards.
Oh, no.
I'm inventing
Terrible
a time
news.
machine to go back 5 years for everyone.
Oh. Can you go back further?
2018? Yeah, you're right. We want to go back before 2016. We go back to 2009, the year I graduated college.
Counterpoint.
No. I graduated high school in 2009.
Counterpoint, we go back to 1998.
Okay.
Prevent
Junior
9/11.
from being born.
Oh, no. Prevent 9/11 and the governmental overreach that followed it in the United States, which prevents a bunch of the shitty things that have happened in the United States in the past 20 years.
I go back to 1972, okay? And I intercept Leonard Peltier, and I tell him, hey, a bunch of shit's gonna be pinned on you. We can get out of this together, and then boom, smash, Janie's never born.
Oh,
and all my problems are fixed!
Problems solved.
That's a life hack.